In chapter 6 of 1 Corinthians, Paul is addressing the lawsuits that they are bringing against each other. He said, how can you take each other to court amongst unbelievers? The judge is not a Christian. The jury are not Christians. And you take each other to court because somebody wronged you or somebody didn't pay something back. He said, don't you know that you are going to judge the world? Even you are going to judge angels. And you are now taking yourselves before unbelievers. He said, are there not any wise people in the church that can settle this dispute? Even in London here, there's some cultures, they don't go to court. They don't take each other outside of that culture. If there's any offense, which will come, we're all human, they sort it out in-house, so to speak. Outsiders will not know what is going on there. They have these elders within this culture. They all meet in the town hall or in a community hall and they sort it out. They settle it there. But these Corinth Christians, not just them, it happens nowadays. Christians do take each other to court. Some leading, founding members of a church will take someone to court. It's always in the newspapers. Paul is saying that you are causing disrepute to the gospel when you do this. And in those days, going to court was like entertainment. So everybody will gather to watch this. So people are seeing. It's not like in a closed court behind doors where nobody knows who is being judged. It's done openly like some of our TV court programs that we watch. There's one I always watch, Judge Judy. I like it. It's entertaining. But it's on Judge Judy. I saw parents suing their children, children suing their parents, bringing themselves to court, and Judge Judy will rule in someone's favor. So this is what they were doing. It was a form of entertainment. And Paul is saying, see, you are being a laughing stock. People are laughing at what you are doing. People are pointing fingers and they go to the same church and they call themselves Jesus followers. He said, instead of you doing that, let yourself be wronged. Let them get away with it. But don't go before unbelievers. Take your brother, your sister before an unbeliever. He said you should stop doing that. That's why you see wherever Paul goes to start a church, he asks the already Christians from other churches that he's founded to help. So if there's anyone needy, he always asks the churches for financial contribution. He does not demand it from this new set of believers or the local people there, so that they don't say, oh, it's because of money he came to form this church. So even Paul said he can ask all the churches to feed him, to look after him, but he doesn't want to be a burden. So he works with his own hands. He's a tent maker, so he can eat. He doesn't rely on anybody to do that for him, so that the gospel will not be in disrepute. He was all for the gospel. And here they are taking each other to court. So he said they should desist. They should not do that. Allow yourself to be wronged instead. And then the other half of this chapter, he now talks about sexual immorality. They always said everything is lawful. Everything is lawful. I'm no longer under the law of Moses. Everything is lawful. And Paul is saying that, yeah, everything is lawful, but it doesn't mean you should do it. There are some areas in the Bible which is not spoken about. There are some laws which is like, do this, don't do this. But there are some gray areas in the Bible. So in that case, you need to listen to the Holy Spirit in you. You are the temple and the Holy Spirit lives in you. You should listen to the Holy Spirit. So them saying everything is lawful, everything is lawful. He said if it will affect your fellow brother, your fellow sister, even though it's lawful, don't do it. There are some Christians who like a glass of wine with their dinner. It's lawful, it's fine. But if you have a guest in your home who doesn't drink or cannot because they've been alcoholics before, or they feel as a Christian you shouldn't drink alcohol at all, you shouldn't drink a glass of wine, then don't when that brother or sister is visiting. It's lawful, but not if it affects your fellow brethren. It's lawful, but sometimes you can get addicted to it. You can get addicted to sex, you can get addicted to food. So even though it might be lawful for you, you have to also think of the consequences. It can lead to slavery, and you shouldn't be a slave to it. It should not master you, whatever habit it is. And it's lawful, but most things are temporary, because the Greeks were fond of saying, the belly for food, food for the belly, eat and drink, for tomorrow we die. He said it's all temporary. The stomach will be destroyed. So we need to beware. And then he said about your bodies. Don't you know that your body is the temple of God? The Holy Spirit lives in you. So if you join yourself to a prostitute, you have become one with that prostitute, because the two shall become one. So he said sex, it has God created it, it's good, but it has its confines, it has its limits. Sex within a marriage is lawful, the bed undefiled. But if you go and join yourself to other people that you are not married to, there are consequences, because sex is not just a temporary earthly pleasure. There's spiritual connotations to it as well. So these are the things that Paul was writing, that have sex within marriage, don't have several sexual partners. And it says that your body is the temple. So when you have sex unlawfully, you are defiling your body. You are defiling the house of God, the house, the home of the Holy Spirit. So these are the things he wrote in 1 Corinthians chapter 6. So about the law, there's lawsuits, and about sexual immorality. Thank you.